Alex had always dreamed of exploring the stars, but nothing had prepared him for the moment he stepped onto the surface of Kirelia 7. The sky was a deep violet, dotted with floating crystal-like structures that shimmered like distant stars. Soft winds carried a scent he could not describe, both sweet and metallic. His mission was simple on paper: observe and study the alien species that called this planet home. In reality, nothing about Kirelia 7 was simple. He walked cautiously along the crystal-lined path, his boots crunching softly against the semi-transparent ground. The aliens of this planet were unlike any life he had ever studied. Tall, graceful, and covered in smooth, iridescent skin, they moved in ways that seemed like dance steps, even when performing simple tasks. Their eyes were large and luminous, shifting colors in tune with their emotions. Alex knew that any misstep could lead to a diplomatic incident, and he reminded himself constantly that humanity was being judged by his every action. He arrived at the alien settlement, a series of structures that appeared to grow naturally from the crystal formations. Inside the central hall, a group of aliens greeted him with nods and hums that resonated through the walls. One among them, a female alien with shimmering aqua skin and eyes that glowed a soft pink, stepped forward. Her presence was commanding yet curious, and Alex immediately felt the weight of her attention. "I am Lyra," she said in a voice that carried musical undertones. "You are the human we have awaited." Alex smiled, bowing slightly. "Yes, I am Alex. I come in peace and to learn." Lyra's gaze lingered on him, almost as if she were trying to look inside his very mind. "Humans?" she murmured, more to herself than to him. "So many traits, so many differences." He raised an eyebrow, unsure how to respond. "Differences? You mean between us and your people?" Lyra nodded, her expression serious. "Yes. Every organ, every function is unexpected." She tilted her head in what Alex guessed was a thoughtful gesture. "We wish to study you." Alex's stomach tightened. He had studied alien biology extensively, but being the subject of an alien's curiosity was something else entirely. I can help you understand humans, yes. But I must warn you, I am not a laboratory specimen." Lyra's expression softened. "We do not wish harm. We wish understanding. Come. You will explain to us." They walked through the hallways of the crystalline structure, passing rooms filled with floating instruments and displays. Alex noticed that many of the devices were designed to study life forms without invasive contact. Lyra led him to a large chamber, where soft lights illuminated an array of holographic projections depicting various species and their physiological processes. "Here," Lyra said, gesturing to a projection of human anatomy. "We wish to understand your species as we understand all others." Alex took a deep breath. "All right. I can explain what I know. But we must maintain respect for privacy and dignity." Lyra nodded once, then gestured for him to continue. He explained human anatomy in basic terms, describing organs, muscles, and biological processes in a way that any intelligent species could grasp. The aliens listened intently, asking questions in ways that seemed both logical and incredibly curious. "Your species produces milk?" Lyra asked, pointing at a diagram. Alex blinked. "Yes, some humans do. Women produce milk to feed infants." Lyra tilted her head, her eyes glowing brighter. "And only women?" "Yes," Alex replied cautiously. "It is part of reproduction and nurturing." Lyra's expression was a mixture of fascination and something he could not name. "Curious. On our species, traits are shared more equally. To see a division, it is strange and remarkable." Alex felt a strange mix of pride and unease. He realized she was not judging him, but was genuinely fascinated by the differences. He smiled faintly. Humans are complicated, but we are adaptable, and we care for each other in many ways. As the hours passed, Lyra continued to ask questions, her curiosity growing. She seemed especially intrigued by the ways humans survived harsh conditions and adapted to new environments. Alex explained tools, cooperation, and ingenuity. He told her how humans could face deadly predators, survive in extreme climates, and even endure injuries that would be fatal to other species. Lyra listened, her glowing eyes wide with admiration. "Humans, you are resilient." Alex laughed softly. "Resilient is one way to put it. We find ways to survive. We always find ways." The conversation shifted when Lyra gestured toward a small containment area in the corner of the lab. Inside were other human specimens, holographic representations of humans in various activities, from running and jumping to building structures. Lyra explained that these were simulations for studying behavior and physiology without causing harm. "You will assist us in this," she said. "Teach us how your species thinks, how it acts under pressure." Alex hesitated. "Simulations are fine, but you must understand. I cannot allow anything invasive or harmful." Lyra smiled faintly. "We seek understanding, not harm. You will guide us." The next hours were a whirlwind. Alex explained everything he could think of, how humans hunted, gathered, built communities, and formed bonds. Lyra took notes, asking questions about every detail. She seemed most fascinated by how humans cooperated despite differences, how intelligence and emotion combined to solve problems. At one point, Lyra leaned closer, examining Alex's hands. "Your strength. It is small compared to some species, yet you accomplish so much." Alex flexed his fingers. "It is not always strength that matters. Sometimes it is wit, teamwork, and creativity." Lyra's expression softened. "Indeed, humans are remarkable." Hours passed, and Alex noticed the alien world outside starting to dim as Corellia 7's twin suns set. The sky turned deeper purple, and the floating crystals reflected 1,000 colors. Lyra gestured toward the exit. "You will rest. Tomorrow we continue." Alex nodded, though he felt restless. He had never been observed so closely before, and though he was proud of what he had shared, he could not shake a feeling that the alien's fascination might lead to unintended consequences. That night, as he lay in the chamber provided for him, he thought about the day. The aliens were not dangerous, but their curiosity was intense, almost overwhelming. He realized that part of his mission was not just to teach them about humans, but to protect humans from being misunderstood or misrepresented. Outside, the crystalline structures pulsed faintly with light. The planet was alive in ways he could not yet understand. And somewhere within that pulsing glow, Lyra and her colleagues were already preparing for the next day of study. Alex closed his eyes, trying to rest, but he knew tomorrow would bring more questions, more discoveries, and more challenges. He had come to Corellia 7 as a visitor, but already he felt like a bridge between two species, a representative of humanity in a world that had never seen it before. And in that moment, he understood something deeply. Humanity's strength was not just in its technology or weapons, but in its intelligence, adaptability, and ability to connect even with beings utterly unlike itself. Little did he know, the next day's questions would challenge not only his knowledge but his ingenuity, and perhaps teach the aliens something about humans they had never expected. The next morning, Alex woke to the soft hum of the crystalline settlement. The light of Corellia 7's twin suns filtered through the walls, casting shifting patterns across the floor. He rose carefully, stretching his limbs, and prepared himself for another day of observation and explanation. He had learned much the day before about Lyra and her people's curiosity, and he knew that patience and careful words would be key. Lyra was waiting for him in the central chamber, her expression calm, but her eyes glowing faintly with excitement. "Good morning, human. Today, we will study more interactions." Alex nodded. "Interactions are important, yes. I can show you how humans work together, make decisions, and solve problems." She tilted her head. "You will demonstrate? Yes? Very good. Come." They walked through the hallways to a larger observation room where holographic simulations of alien terrain were projected across the entire chamber. The room was vast, and the floor seemed to ripple like water under their feet. Lyra gestured to the holograms. "Here, you will guide humans and aliens in cooperative exercises." Alex took a deep breath. "I can do that, but it must be controlled. We cannot cause harm, and we must ensure learning." Lyra's eyes sparkled. "Yes, you are wise." He guided a group of small alien participants through simple exercises, moving objects, solving puzzles, and navigating minor obstacles. He explained his thought process in clear, basic terms, demonstrating patience and leadership. The aliens were quick learners, but they occasionally approached problems in ways he did not expect. Alex marveled at their intelligence, and he realized that humans and aliens could complement each other perfectly if guided correctly. At one point, Lyra asked him to explain why humans often used intuition as much as logic. "We notice decisions are sometimes emotional yet effective. Explain." Alex smiled. "Humans feel emotions, yes, but we also learn from experience. Our instincts are shaped by survival and problem-solving. Emotions help guide us when logic alone is not enough." Lyra nodded thoughtfully. "Fascinating. Your species balances mind and heart. Many species here rely on logic alone. You are remarkable." The day continued with exercises and explanations. Alex showed them how humans adapt to changing environments, how they build tools and shelters, and how teamwork could overcome even the most dangerous situations. He used examples of humans facing predators, harsh weather, and other challenges, always emphasizing intelligence and cooperation over brute force. During a break, Lyra approached him privately. "Human," she said softly, "your species uses many forms of care. You nurture, you protect, you create, even in ways we did not expect." Alex raised an eyebrow. "We do our best to care for one another. It is how we survive and thrive." Lyra's eyes glimmered. "I understand now. Humans are resilient, adaptable, and surprisingly gentle." Alex chuckled. "Gentle when it matters, but strong when it is necessary. That is humanity in a nutshell." The afternoon brought a challenge. Lyra had prepared a simulation that combined complex environmental hazards, alien participants, and human-like obstacles. Alex had to lead a team, both human and alien, through the scenario. The simulation was intense, crumbling holographic cliffs, rivers of energy, and shifting pathways that required quick thinking. Alex moved quickly, directing the team with clear commands and encouragement. He noticed that the aliens were relying too heavily on logic and were hesitant to take creative risks. "Trust your instincts," he urged. "Sometimes the answer is not what you calculate, it is what you feel is right." One alien hesitated at a holographic gap. Alex demonstrated a safe path using a simple jump, showing courage and foresight. The alien followed, and the team moved forward successfully. Lyra observed closely, her eyes glowing brighter with admiration. "You guide with confidence and care. Humans, you inspire." By the evening, the team had completed the simulation. The aliens were exhilarated, and Alex felt a sense of pride. He had shown them that humans were not only intelligent, but also adaptable leaders. Lyra approached him once more. "You have taught us much, more than anatomy or survival. You have taught us understanding." Alex smiled. That is the key to being human. We learn, we adapt, we connect. As night fell on Corellia 7, Alex sat quietly in his quarters. He reflected on the events of the past 2 days. The aliens were fascinated by human biology, but they were equally fascinated by human ingenuity and character. He realized that his mission was not only about teaching them science, it was about showing humanity's greatest strengths: creativity, courage, and empathy. The next day, Lyra called him to a new area. This chamber was filled with complex devices and holographic screens showing alien and human ecosystems. We wish to see how humans interact with the environment, she explained. Teach us your ways. Alex studied the setup. The aliens wanted to understand resourcefulness, how humans use the environment wisely without unnecessary waste, and how they adapt when conditions are dangerous. He demonstrated by showing problem-solving scenarios, using natural materials to create tools, finding safe paths through hazardous areas, and cooperating to overcome obstacles. The aliens were amazed. Humans, your adaptability is incredible, Lyra said. Other species would fail where you succeed. Alex smiled modestly. We survive because we have to. We think, we experiment, we keep trying until we succeed. Later, Lyra asked a question that surprised him. Your species shows care in nurturing. You protect your young. You feed them. We have studied this, but you do it with compassion. Why? Alex paused. He realized this was not a simple biological question. We protect the next generation because they are our future. We care for them because life is valuable. Strength alone does not matter if we have no one to pass it to. That is why we help each other. Lyra's eyes glowed with understanding. Humans, you value life, and you value connections. You are extraordinary. As the days passed, Alex continued teaching and demonstrating human ingenuity, adaptability, and leadership. He showed how humans solved problems with creativity, how they adapted to extreme conditions, and how emotional intelligence could guide decisions. The aliens were fascinated, often attempting to replicate his strategies in simulations and exercises. One evening, while Alex rested, Lyra approached quietly. Human, she said softly. You have shown us much, more than science. You have shown us the human spirit. Your species deserves respect. Alex nodded. Thank you. That is all we ask, to be understood and respected. Lyra smiled faintly. You are not just a visitor. You are a bridge between your kind and ours. You have made us see humans differently. The weeks on Corellia 7 became a period of mutual learning. Alex taught the aliens, and they shared their knowledge, revealing advanced techniques in biology, ecology, and technology. He realized that humans and aliens could accomplish far more together than alone. By the end of his mission, Alex had earned the trust and admiration of Lyra and her colleagues. The aliens no longer saw humans as a simple species to study. They saw them as intelligent, resourceful, and capable of leadership and cooperation in ways that were unique in the galaxy. As he prepared to leave Corellia 7, Lyra presented him with a small crystal token. To remember us, she said, and to remind others that humans are remarkable. Alex took it, feeling a deep sense of pride. Humanity had not only survived in the stars, they had inspired understanding, curiosity, and respect. He realized that the greatest strength of humans was not in weapons or technology, but in their mind, spirit, and heart. As his ship lifted off, Alex looked back at the shimmering planet below. He knew that his mission was only the beginning. Humans would continue to explore, to learn, and to inspire. And wherever they went, their ingenuity, courage, and adaptability would make them respected and even admired across the galaxy. The suns of Corellia 7 dipped below the horizon, casting violet light over the crystals. Alex felt a warmth in his chest. He had come as a visitor, but he left knowing that humanity had left its mark, not through dominance or force, but through intelligence, creativity, and the unyielding human spirit. And in that moment, Alex knew that humans had a place among the stars, a place not just to survive, but to shine.